All right, now we all know that Warren Buffett is a long-term investor. He doesn't really give tips on trading, but I don't care. I thought it would be a good way to get some traction or some views because we know people love Warren Buffett. And as a matter of fact, the company that I'm going to give some quick tips on is Berkshire Hathaway, which is his company. So you see where I'm coming from? So it's not his tips, it's my tips. And actually, it's not even really tips. It's really just kind of I don't know, just the way markets work. So I just want to let you know what people in the institutional world are looking at. We're not looking at secret formulas or Elliott wave or Gann theory or how to rip off the little guy. We're looking at, oh, what price levels are important. So this is going to be a little lesson on price levels. Berkshire Hathaway stock. Look at this. Notice how in April of last year, so over a year ago, we got to resistance. Stock rallied, got there, wasn't enough sellers. We get here, all of a sudden you got sellers coming out of the woodwork, turns things around. Now, here we are over a year and a half later, or almost a year and a half later, I should say, and we got resistance at the same level, and we got resistance at the same level again, which is where we are now as I speak, and today is September 10th. Resistance becomes resistance because you got people back here who bought who regret their decision to do so when the price goes lower. So they tell themselves, if it ever gets back to my level, I'm going to sell so I get out at break even. So buyer's remorse can keep resistance intact. People bought here. They regret their decision when the price goes lower. It gets back to their price and they want to sell. If you have enough remorseful sellers, I'm sorry, enough remorseful buyers placing sell orders, the level that was resistance becomes resistance again. And we could see that down here. Resistance here becomes resistance here, resistance here, resistance here. In the markets, there are some price levels that are more important than others. That is one of the most, if not the most important rule of trading. If you don't understand that, you're going to have a hard time. Now, what else do we got going on here? Support over here becomes resistance there. How could support here become resistance here? Well, this is also buyer's remorse. There are people who bought here who at first they're like, yeah, this is great. But the price goes lower and they tell themselves, if this ever gets back up to where I get out of break even, I'm going to sell. So if you have enough remorseful buyers here, placing sell orders here, low support turns into resistance. All right. So we could see resistance becomes resistance, support becomes resistance. Here we have resistance becomes support. And we can see that down here. Resistance here becomes support here. Resistance here, support here. Resistance here, support here. Okay, resistance there, support there. This is seller's remorse. There are people who sold, and when the price goes higher, they're like, damn, I shouldn't have sold. I'm going to buy my shares back if I can get them for the same price I sold them at. So you have people that sold up here who thought it was trading was easy when the price went lower, but then it goes higher, and a lot of these people say, man, I made a mistake. If I can, I'm going to buy my shares back at the same price I sold them at. So if you have enough remorseful sellers placing buy orders at the level that was resistance, resistance can turn into support. And once again, down here, you can see support, 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 support. And you can even see support resistance. Why would support become support again? Well, seller's remorse. People sold down here, price goes higher. A lot of these people say, man, I made a mistake. I want to buy my shares back, but only if I can get them at the same price I sold them at. So you have enough remorseful sellers placing buy orders at the level that was support. It becomes support again. So remember, buyer's remorse can turn resistance into resistance again. Buyer's remorse can turn support into resistance. Seller's remorse can keep support intact for a long time. And seller's remorse can convert what was resistance into support. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. I hope you have a nice week, and I will see you soon.